passion deep and hearts so bold. Legends live, their stories told. We honor Jim, his guiding light, forever shining through the fight. So join us here as voices cheer. The Colts are family year by year. Bleed bloody blue, the anthem calls. Together we stand through it all.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another week of the Indianapolis Colts podcast, Bleed Bloody Blue. This is going to be a little bit shorter today because we had a family issue and related to a passing of one of our family members. But the Indianapolis Colts today won 40-6 in dominating fashion. This podcast will be a little bit shorter because of what we had just heard about earlier today, and I really don't want to get into the weeds of all that, so that will be for another time if ever brought up. But today, the Indianapolis Colts, and our prayers go out to that family, but I will say this. Colts had a dominating performance today, and after I heard the news around the third quarter, I pretty much didn't pay attention, but all I saw was that the Colts had scored a lot of touchdowns. Johnathan Taylor had a rushing touchdown. Daniel Jones found the ball a lot today. He had 2 touchdowns on the day. He was 20 of 29 for 212 yards. And Johnathan Taylor ran for a record 3 touchdowns today for 66 yards and 17 carries. Of course, we can't just compliment the Colts O-line today. We also have to compliment a little bit their defensive line today, who are very good as well. But the Raiders at the first half really put up a fight. Geno Smith and them did very decent, not great, but very decent. Of course, unlike Daniel Jones, who had 0 interceptions today, Geno Smith had 2 interceptions today, 25 of 36 for 228 yards, and Ashton Jeanty had 14 carries for 67 yards, no touchdowns or fumbles, interceptions, that sort of stuff. And Trey Tucker had the most yards for the Raiders. He had 62 yards for 4 receptions. And for the Colts, the leader in receiving today was Ashton Dulin, who had 55 yards and 2 receptions. Not only was it was a very low-scoring first quarter, but we could honestly say that Daniel Carlson had a good 24-yard field goal today until, of course, he got injured. Our other kicker, Spencer Strider, got injured as well. We're very concerned about him. Hope he can recover well from those injuries. But the third quarter, of course, was very huge for us. We scored 3 straight touchdowns in the third quarter. Raiders had so much problems having the ball in their grasp, in their possession, but they really struggled to even get things moving today. And it was really a problem when you see that the Raiders could not pass. Geno Smith couldn't pass. Geno Smith couldn't even throw the ball without having problems. So that really gives credit to our defensive line, who not only was incredible today, they were superb. And the 3 touchdowns in question, Johnathan Taylor ran for a 1-yard touchdown with 6 minutes, 54 seconds in the third quarter. Amir Abdullah had a 2-yard rushing touchdown after a Tyler Warren 2-point conversion. And then when Johnathan Taylor scored, there was also a Michael Pittman 2-point conversion that was no good. Tyler Warren also did not convert the extra point or the 2-point conversion since our kicker was injured. Johnathan Taylor had a 6-yard rushing touchdown, and then he scored a 2-point conversion to make it 40-3. And the Colts later only allowed the Raiders to get 2 field goals in scoring today, which was just field goals, and the final score being 40-6. Colts, in terms of total yards, was 317 compared to the Raiders' 296. Passing yards was 221 to the Raiders' 190. Rushing was 106 yards for the Raiders over the 96 yards for us. And we had 5.6 yards per play. And it was very impressive on all sides of the ball, especially. The receivers were beginning to catch more. We were gaining yards more than we ever could before, and our team looked stunning today. They looked stunning. And I would say they looked very good today. Almost, they blew out the Raiders just like we did the Dolphins in week 1. And in terms of our other players, Anthony Richardson got a little bit of a start today with 9 yards, and he was 1 of 2 from passing. And then, of course, the 2 touchdowns came from Johnathan Taylor and Amir Abdullah, which we talked a lot about that. Tyler Warren played a great game today, 44 yards, 4 receptions, 1 touchdown. But if it wasn't for the fact that this team has so much swagger and so much confidence going into these games, I would probably say that the Colts are up there as being a perennial Super Bowl team later. But for right now, I mean, Daniel Jones is putting off the season of his life, and when he ever is on target. Last week, we just didn't get into a groove. This week was total domination. And the Colts were able to hold off the Raiders, and next week we play a similar opponent to the Arizona Cardinals. They should be not very good as well. They weren't really good 2 weeks ago in their Monday Night Football game against the Seattle Seahawks, but tried to pull off a comeback in the end. They might put more up a fight at Lucas Oil, but with all the craziness that's going on, not just in my family, but also within the entire organization, and Mark Sanchez over the weekend getting arrested for such an attack in Indianapolis downtown. It's quite a crazy week to be in Indiana, and quite a crazy week to be in Indianapolis. Crazy start to the week, we'll say it that much. But the Colts ended up beating the Raiders today, play the Cardinals next week, then play the Chargers the next week. One of the big things that I noticed about the Colts is I was just watching the Eagles and the Broncos. Broncos win that one 27-24. The Colts today did extremely well, especially when it came down to the defensive front, like I said earlier, especially around the third quarter. It was just total and complete domination. Malachi Blackman had 1 interception today. No one else had any interceptions today for 5 tackles. And Austin Ajak had 5 tackles and 2 assisted tackles. And it looks like the guy that was going to be retiring from our team did not play today. And unfortunately, this will be it for him. He was a very special player. I think it was Zaire Franklin. But yeah, he was a very special and kind player. We will miss him dearly. And I just thought, yeah, besides all this with the family stuff, it's been a crazy week in terms of Indianapolis. I'm kind of glad that game's over and it was a blowout. Of course, it was very good today. I would say it was refreshing to see the Colts, after coming back from the loss last week, to win this one and bring the Raiders to 1-4, which is one of their worst records in a long time. But of course, they are not a very good team. Max Crosby played extremely well in the first half. He had 3 tackles and had 1 sack earlier. But he was very, very good. I thought he was very good. And some, even after Jitty, I give shouts to him because he is a really good running back. And I don't think that this is going to be the moment that will be etched in his memory for a long time. But I can tell you that it is insane to me that he isn't talked about as a highly talented running back. He's as good as Johnathan Taylor, who ran extremely well today as well. But the thing about the two is they have the same level of horsepower and same level of size. One's bigger than the other, sure. But if you had to compare it to apples to oranges, they're really not comparable. And if you had to say anything about any of those two teams, it would be one thing, that they know how to run the ball and they know how to play really good defense. And they know how to play dominant offense when they want to play dominant offense. That's the big difference between the Colts and Raiders. And they not only solidified that, but they proved to everyone today that they are for real, and the Colts have already proven to us that they are for real as they play the Cardinals and then the Chargers. Big challenges in the next 2 weeks, especially the Chargers and Steelers coming up very soon. As the schedule doesn't get any easier, it only gets a lot harder from here. And the Colts are not only well-equipped later for the postseason, but we don't want to get into discussions right now about it, but the Colts are very dominant and will be very dominant for generations to come if this Daniel Jones deal works out extremely well, and so far it has. He's one of the best quarterbacks I've seen, and that was a great decision to have him really be a part of this team. And I thought he would be terrible. I personally thought he would be awful and not do that well. But so far, he's proving everybody wrong, as Indiana Jones knows how to sling the ball and knows how to play football a dominant and stylish way. And so, I apologize if I'm a little bit up in the air. I'm not sick or nothing. It's just heard some news and kind of shook me up a little bit. But our family's coping from it. Our family's doing really well right now, really resilient, and we're doing extremely, extremely well for the most part. But it's just a lot to process. It's a lot to ration and understand. But we're doing our best, and I apologize for making this podcast a lot shorter than normal. But we'll get into some NFL scores. And then, although the Colts fortunately for me, the Colts had blown out the Raiders, so there really wasn't much to talk about in the first place. There was a lot to talk about in terms of our play style, our coaching, and that sort of stuff. But there really wasn't that much to talk about in the general term about the Colts today. But I'm really glad that we got the win. We're 4-1 on the year. And there was some other exciting football today. Vikings narrowly beat the Browns 21-17 in London this morning to kick off the entire day. Then the Cowboys beat the Jets 37-22. And this afternoon, Saints beat the Giants 26-14. The Dolphins, surprisingly, the Miami Dolphins narrowly escaped with a victory over the Carolina Panthers 27-24. Broncos beat the Eagles 21-17 today. The Texans also came with a dominating victory, just like the Indianapolis Colts. Texans win 44-10. The Cardinals beat the Titans, or actually are playing the Titans right now with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Scores 7-0 over our opponents. Next week, the Arizona Cardinals over the Tennessee Titans. Buccaneers are already up by a field goal with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left in the first quarter over the Seattle Seahawks. It's 2nd and 9 on the Tampa Bay 49-yard line, and the Buccaneers have the ball at the moment. In terms of the other game today, the Lions were playing the Bengals. That score is notched at 0 right now. They played at 4:25. It is currently 4:30 on the East Coast. The Commanders were playing the Chargers at 4:25 also. Don't have a score update for that one, but that game is ongoing at the moment. And tonight, the Patriots and Bills play, and then the Chiefs and the Jaguars play. The Chiefs and the Jaguars play tomorrow on Monday Night Football, whereas the Patriots and Bills play tonight on Sunday Night Football, 8:20 for both games in the afternoon. So, thank you all so much for listening today. I'm sorry to be in this mood. It's a spectacular day to be in Indiana. It's a spectacular day to be a Colts fan. And go Colts as we play the Cardinals next week, and I will see you all then. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day, and go Colts, and my apologies for making this short.
Yeah! Yeah! Stand up! Indianapolis! Stand up! Ha! Go blue! Ha! Go blue! Come on! Go blue! Stand up! 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 Go blue! Come on! Colts Super Bowlers! Dome rock and rollers! Go blue! Stand up! Get your hands in the sky! O to the D-line! Come on, get behind! The home team! Somebody scream! Go blue! Come catch the feeling! Reach for the ceiling! Cause we getting that banner and we'll hang it up high! Scream for the home team! New rings and trophies! Go blue! Go Colts! Go blue! Go Colts! You wanna rock? You wanna roll? We gonna win it! The Super Bowl! Let's go! You wanna rock?